Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Gary here. Hope you're all having a good week. It's a Tuesday the 10th of March. All right, let's see. The subject today is going to be called Clearing the Room. Guess you'll have to figure out what that means while I start talking about it. There's really no description. You'll just have to watch the show. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the subject matter today was when I was still working. This was my last year with my company. I worked one more year with the company, and then I was in a new location, in a new store for 1 year, and then I retired. And my boss, Roger, was on vacation this one particular day, this one particular week. Now, going back before Roger went on vacation, the store manager I had, I didn't like her. She was just not real personable. And all my years with the company, I got along great with all my store managers. But this one particular store manager I had, she wasn't personable. She just wasn't. She didn't know how to handle people. She didn't know how to talk to people. That was the one. She did not know how to talk to people. She didn't know how to engage people. She would walk by you first thing in the morning. In the morning, you're out there working away, filling the case. She'd walk right past you. Wouldn't even say good morning. Wouldn't even look at you. Walk right by. That's not how you manage. It's not how you run a store. It's not how you manage. And she didn't like me. For whatever reason, she just didn't like me. Maybe she did, but she never showed it. And I wasn't the only person. A lot of people in the store felt the same way, that she just didn't like them. So anyway, that said, I had to get that out there. So that said, Roger's on vacation this one particular week. And we're shorthanded. So we're down a body. And every Monday they had a team leader meeting up in the conference room. But Roger had to go to that with all the other department heads and the store manager. And they had to sit down and they have to watch a video on the TV set and then sit around and talk about the sales plan for the upcoming week. And it was a circle jerk. It was a total circle jerk. And it was just like a good way to waste about an hour of time. Hour and a half easy. Because then people eat. So they bring food up there and everyone gorges themselves, especially the store manager because she loved donuts. Anyway, and just look at her. She was a fat slob. But anyway, so this one particular week when he was on vacation, I had to go to this meeting because I was in charge. And I remember saying to the guys in my department, hey, don't worry. The meeting will be short. It's going to be short-lived. And I said this the day before the meeting. I said, guys, I got it all figured out. I'm going to be back downstairs in less than 10 minutes. Trust me. The meeting won't go long tomorrow. And they said, are you sure, Gary? I said, yeah, I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry about it. The meeting will be quick. And so what I did is, before I left work that day, I bought some Granny Smith apples because I got a recipe. Granny Smith apples and a bag of sauerkraut. I got home immediately, opened up the sauerkraut and started eating cold sauerkraut with a fork. Maybe about a full cup's worth. Now, it's kind of nasty. I mean, I like sauerkraut because I'm Polish. And I grew up in a Polish family. And they always had sauerkraut with meals. But the sauerkraut was warm. It was heated up. And it was cooked down. When you cook down sauerkraut, which is cabbage, it gets soft. It's soft anyway, but it was warm. And added a bunch of spices to it. It tasted pretty good. But I ate it raw out of this bag this particular day. There's a recipe behind what I'm going to do. So then I take that down, I chug it down with a couple glasses of milk. Milk is an additive to the recipe. People saying, Gary, what the fuck are you talking about? Hear me out. So I take about a cup's worth of sauerkraut and I chug it down with milk. Not 1%, not 2% milk, whole milk. Whole milk. I want the full Monty of that milk. Then I take 2 Granny Smith apples and I take my time to eat my Granny Smith apples. And then I'm done. The recipe's done. And so what happens is after that point, it starts brewing in my intestines. Creating creating the aroma to come, if you know what I mean. And it's a perfect recipe. But it generally takes about 24 hours to ferment. It's like a guy going to a brewery and he's got the beer and the hops and all that stuff in the keg, and they gotta let it brew, they gotta let it fester, they gotta let it, all the yeast building up and make the beer the perfect batch. Well, that's the same with brewing up your intestines. Getting all that stuff going, get it really warming it up. So the next day I go into work. Now I had to be there excuse me, at 5 a.m. And the meeting was generally right around 9 a.m., which is the perfect timing. I started to exit gas on the way to work that morning. Gas. And explain it. Gary, you mean farts? No, this is worse. It's gas. It's so bad that I have to roll the fucking window down on my car. Not just the driver's side window, but the passenger side window too, to get the fume out of my car. That's how bad it is. That's from the recipe. The sauerkraut, the whole milk, and the apple. See, there's a method. There's a method to my madness. So I only released one bomb on the way to work. I couldn't hold it in. It was brewing, you know. So now at 9 o'clock, they get on the intercom. All department heads, come to the conference room. All department heads, conference room. And I said to my guys, I said, I'll be back in about 10 minutes. 15 tops. I'll be back. So we go upstairs and they got this huge, this really long table. And there's like 15 people there. And who's at the top of the table? My store manager. Positions herself, her fat ass, at the top of the head of the table. And then there's a big screen. We get to watch a program first on the TV screen. And I haven't released the ordinance yet. I haven't done that. We haven't started eating yet. Because they have a full spread of food up there. Well, before the video starts, I got ahead of myself. Before the video starts, we all trow up to the food court from the deli. So we're filling our plates. I don't eat that garbage. So I just had a cup of coffee. I do a lot of intermittent fasting. I've talked about that. So I wasn't eating that particular day. All I had in my stomach, I didn't want to fuck up what was already brewing in my intestines. So I didn't eat. I just had a cup of coffee. That was just going to help with the explosion. So now everyone's comfortable and they're feeding their faces. And then they flip on the TV set and they're all watching the show of the next week's, of the coming week's sale items for the following week. And they're all gorging themselves, especially my store manager. She's really gorging herself. I think she had about 4 or 5 donuts for dessert next to her plate. But I mean, anyway. So we haven't even begun to talk. The video's playing. And I'm sitting smack dab in the middle of the table. I got people flanked to my right and flanked to my left. The reason I sat myself there was so I would not, when I started to release the ordinance from my ass, nobody would know that it was me. I'm right in the middle. You could blame the guy on the right or the guy on the right or the left. So I let one fly. Just let a little squeaker. That's what it sounded like. Only it made no noise, but that's kind of the sound it would make coming out my ass. And I smelled it immediately. Made my nose hairs curl. And that's just mine, you know? Well, immediately, 2 people from the right, they're going, look at this faces going on. Then the people on my left, there's one guy on my left goes, oh my God, Gary, you smell that? I said, yeah. What is that? What is that? He goes, I don't know. Jesus, God, that's bad. And it was just a little one. It was a little burner. A little burner. Gary, you're fucking sick. What the hell's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me. These are things you got to learn how to do. You got to know your body, what it takes to get it going, right? So I know what that. The sauerkraut and the apples and the milk. So that was just a little burn. That was just like a little burner. Just enough to get a few people, you know? A couple people to the right, one guy to the left. Now, my first cup of coffee is gone. What do I have to do? The food court is directly across from the table. So I stand up, and as I'm walking the length of the table, around my store leader, and then back down the other way to get to the coffee pot, I'm letting a monster fly. But it's spurting out as I walk. Each step, it's shooting out. Oh yeah, I could control it perfectly. But they're burning. And you know when you got a burner, it's going to stink bad. And this was the major assault move. This was the major assault move. Because now that I'm going down the length of the table and around the store leader and then back down the other way, releasing the ordnance from my ass, now I'm at the coffee pot. I have my back to everybody. And I heard one girl, I hear someone coughing. And I hear a few other people saying, what is that smell? What is that smell? What is that smell? What is that smell? Wow, the Yellow Brick Road. I mean, everyone started smelling it. It was bad. I mean, I could smell it. I could smell my own. And now I'm getting a cup of coffee like, man, I did a good job with that sauerkraut last night. I turn around and people are like looking at each other and they're doing this, you know, they're doing that. My store manager, she stands up and backs away from her plate, from her trough. She backs up against the wall. She's doing this. What is that? It was a hanger. This was a total hanger assault. Needless to say, I wasn't finished. So I acted the part. I'm like, God, what the fuck is that smell? Who let one fly? God, that's disgusting. What the fuck? I'm doing that. I'm saying these things. And as I'm walking back to my chair, I'm letting another one fly because now it's coming. The secondary ordinance was ready for release. And so I let it fly. And it was a burner. It probably was so bad that I got home that day. I bet there were skid marks on my underwear. Because it was pretty bad. So, I know. The meeting didn't last but 10 minutes. People took their plates and they walked downstairs to their departments with their food. And the meeting was over. The video was cut short. The store manager said, there's obviously something wrong. I'm going to have to check with facility engineering. She said, I got to call facility engineering. There's something in the vents that smells really bad. We got to get out of here. So we left. That's what she said. We got to leave. We'll do the meeting later. Take your pamphlets with you. Read what's in the ad next week. And they got the fuck out of that room. That's how bad it was. That's what I know. Hey, that's one of my talents. The Butcher Boy has multiple talents, but that's just one of them. I cleared the room. I went downstairs. My guy said, hey, you weren't lying. What gives? Why was the meeting cut short? And then someone from the deli that was there was walking by and they said, there's something wrong. There's an odor upstairs in that room. Something with the vent system. It's horrible. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled. Gary, what's wrong with you, man? You fucking gonna do an episode about that? Yes. Yes. I speak the truth and I talk about things that actually happened in my career. That's just one of them. Dropping the ordinance from the anal cavity and letting my fellow workers enjoy it or punish them for it. Because I didn't want to be up there listening to some buffoon jack about the fucking sales plan. Blah, 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 and watch her gorge on some more fucking donuts. So that's how you handle it. If you know how to manipulate your intestines and you know exactly what you need to eat to give yourself gas so bad, you can clean out a room. Go do it and take it to your job, especially if you have a job in a company where you're jammed into a solid floor of cubby holes. Those little stations where one after the other is people and with their computers. Let them fly. Bring pain to the work office. Bring it. Make people suffer. It's a beautiful thing. That's all I got. I gotta go. I got things I gotta do today. I'm gonna mop my floors. I haven't done that in a while. I know I'm a bachelor, but I vacuum once a week, but I haven't mopped my hardwoods. And I don't have a mop, so I gotta go buy one. All right, you all have a fantastic Tuesday. I'm sure I'll catch up to you another episode tomorrow, the next day. Whatever comes to my head, Hope you enjoyed this one. It was different. It was fruitful. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out.